Last few years definitely have been, I wouldn't say tough, but not easy.
Yeah.
They definitely were kind of an eye opener.
As someone who's part of the performing arts industry, what was the toughest part? What is the advice that you would give to folks who are still coming into the system and dealing with a lot of this? The fact that there's no clarity about what your next gig might be, that the money that is paid is so low. What would you say to people who are trying to get their work out there and may not be getting that many physical touch points?
Unless until we are empathetic to the world, we're not going to make a better place. So it's very important to understand where people are coming from. Like I ended up being in a documentary crew. We were shooting in Tihar jail with the Vipassana course that Kiran Bedi had started, and it was quite an eye opener for me.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining in again. We've been having these really interesting conversations around money, and I hope you like what you're listening to. I appreciate the fact that you're writing back, and we're trying to do more and more content around what is really working for you guys. Today, I'm super excited to talk about someone whose journey with money, I think, is not as important as his journey with music. You know that I'm personally a big fan of everything that is about music. Ankur Téwari has been part of the music industry for a long, long time now. Of course, some of his headline moments include his work in Gully and Ballet, just to name a couple of his projects. But he's a singer, songwriter, music composer, music supervisor. So I don't think there's any part of the music universe that he hasn't touched. And I am super delighted to have him here and chat with me about his journey as it has been over the last couple of years. And of course, his big lessons and learnings in terms of money. Thank you so much, Ankur, for joining in and chatting with me. Um, I thought instead of starting with the journey, I would start a bit with the here and now because I know that you're really fond of travel, and I know that that hasn't happened for the last year and a half. So, how's it been? Has it been tough, or has it been a process of sort of reacquainting yourself with your immediate surroundings?
Last few years definitely have been, I wouldn't say tough, but not easy.
Yeah.
They definitely were kind of an eye opener. At the same time, there were good days and bad days, as I would say, but definitely a very important phase for self reflection, understanding, kind of taking a stock of where you are, and trying to deal with things in a different way and not be kind of warned that things could change anytime.
As someone who's part of the performing arts industry, what was the toughest part? Because for so many other professions, it's that you found a parallel track to carry on. But in this particular case, it was almost like the umbilical cord with how your work moves was snapped. What was the toughest part for you?
Two things were really tough for me, which I'm kind of still dealing with, is meeting people with a reckless abandon that was there earlier. It's somewhere at the back of your mind, there is this thought now, whosoever you're meeting, even now, is it safe? Is it not? Earlier, that thought didn't exist. Just physical touch, touching people, looking people into the eye and talking physically, not talking to a screen all the time. Those things were really, one had to adjust to it and understand it. But the thing that really kind of shook me was a loss of kind of memory for these 2 years, because I realized there were no kind of milestones or totems. Every day was like each other, so you couldn't kind of like put things in perspective. So it's kind of a blur. I don't have a clear memory, and I use memory in my work a lot in terms of writing anything. So it's like a kind of a blur. Otherwise it would be okay that we met that person and then this happened, or we went there and then this happened. Every day was kind of the same. It was like probably like being in prison. So it was so the memory part really bothered me. That blur really bothers me because I don't have a clear kind of timeline in my head.
Yeah, no, that's well put. I think it's just like a block, and I think for so many of us, you feel like you've aged 5 years in the last year and a half, even though you've not actually done anything very productive or worked very hard, but you just feel the aging process, I suppose. I was speaking with Malika Sarabhai in the first part of the COVID wave, and she was making the point about how it's such a tenuous relationship between performing arts and money. The fact that everyone wanted these performances to go online, but assumed that there was no requirement to pay anybody for that, saying, aa jao, just perform, just play something, sing something. Do you think it's gotten more messy because of the whole pandemic journey? And what would you say to people who are trying to get their work out there and may not be getting that many physical touch points? Should you hold your ground and say, no, look, as you said, I'm a brand and I need to be paid for my work? How should you navigate that?
I mean, yeah, like I would say that communication is key. So you should not be misunderstood in when you're asking for what you deserve. Very early in my life in Bombay, I realized that I have to learn how to say no and how to say no in a nice way. And that's kind of made me more money than saying yes. So it's about really drawing a line where you need to draw the line, and at the same time empathizing with the person who's asking for what they want, because they're also trying to get the best deal out of you. Sometimes to the extent that, again, I feel it's a subcontinental thing where we kind of don't realize what lines we are crossing while kind of getting the best deal for ourselves. So sometimes it's nice to remind people about where the lines are, what's happening, and what I would do, why I won't do it, and why they should probably not be asking me for what they're asking me for. At the same time, communicating that I understand why they're doing it.
Will you play something for us? Anything that,
yes, sure.
I don't know, anything that you're feeling right now?
Okay. I've not played online in a few months now, which is a good thing.
So you want to tell me a little bit about what you're playing?
I'm thinking still.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably play the song that I wrote during lockdown.
Okay.
Is this the one? I haven't played this song in a while, but I want to play it. It's called Tute. It's about broken hearts, broken things, and kind of like how all of us were kind of broken around the world during the pandemic. भरते हुए जख्मों को खरोंचे, हमें भूल जाना तेरा कितनी आसानी से मुंह मोड़े, अजनबी बन जाना तेरा, टूटे हम टूटे, टूटे हुए हैं हम यहाँ, टूटे हम टूटे, टूटे होके तुम भी वहाँ, क्यों खो गई है तारीखों में हमारी अधूरी दास्तां, कब छूट गया साथ न जाने, कब हो गए हम लापता, टूटे हम टूटे, टूटे हुए हैं हम यहाँ, टूटे हम टूटे टूटे होके तुम भी वहाँ, और वक्त की अदालतों में चलते रहेंगे मुकद्दमे, रखी जाएंगी ये दलीलें कि तुम ना रहे, और हम न रहे, फुर्सत मिले जो कभी तो हम पे भी गौर करना यहाँ, कि हमको तेरी महफिलों में मिलती इजाजत कहाँ। टूटे हम टूटे टूटे हुए हैं हम यहाँ, टूटे हम टूटे टूटे होके तुम भी वहाँ, तुम भी वहाँ, तुम भी वहाँ, तुम भी वहाँ।
Ankur Téwari.
This was my pandemic song.
Oh, it's beautiful.
You reminded me of that.
Oh dear, which part? The mending part or the broken part?
Not in a bad way, in a good way. I've been trying to gather memories from that blur, and I feel I'm getting back some of them, and some memories came to me today that I had forgotten. So it's a good thing.
I'm glad to hear that, and I look forward to the process of mending and healing. I think for everyone, as individuals, as communities, I think it's sorely needed in the times we live in. But thank you so much, Ankur. It's been such.
Thank you so much for having me, and I feel really privileged to be here on this thing. Also, because it's so I don't know what to say about money. So I hope I helped you in some way, or whosoever listens to it.
Yeah, but I think that's what's best about it. I think that it's okay to talk about the fact that it is this amorphous subject, and it is complicated and complex and intimidating, and that's fine. But as you said, the most important thing is just figuring out what your boundaries are and setting them. I think that's important. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Chatting with you.